Hey there, I'm Dr. Jordan from DiabeticFree. If you've ever been told that fruit is off limits because you have diabetes, or if you worry every time you see a ripe, juicy piece of fruit, then this is the perfect moment to clear the air once and for all. Today, I'm going to take you through a detailed exploration of the top 7 fruits that not only satisfy your sweet tooth, but also help you maintain better blood sugar control. Yes, you heard that right, there are fruits out there that can actually support stable blood glucose levels, thanks to their fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. In the coming moments, you'll learn about each fruit's scientific benefits, how they affect your blood sugar, what portion sizes are best, and some simple ways to include them in your day-to-day meal plan. If you're ready to enjoy nature's candy without the guilt, stick around, because these 7 fruits might just become your go-to allies for better diabetes management. Before we begin, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Dr. Jordan, and I have a PhD in diabetic health and wellness. On DiabeticFree, my focus is to share science-backed information so that you feel empowered to make the best choices for your own health. Everyone's body responds a little differently to the foods we eat, especially for those managing diabetes. So please remember that all of this is educational and doesn't replace the advice of your healthcare professional. Always consult your doctor or a registered dietitian if you plan to make any significant changes to your diet or medication regimen. My goal here is simply to provide you with accurate, easy-to-understand information that helps you navigate the complexities of diabetes in a more confident, fulfilling way. Let's jump right into the first set of fruits, berries. That includes strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. These colorful, juicy treats are frequently recommended to people with diabetes because of their low glycemic index, high fiber content, and abundance of antioxidants like anthocyanins. Studies have found that anthocyanins can help improve insulin sensitivity and also offer anti-inflammatory benefits. When you eat berries, you're getting a moderate amount of natural sugar balanced out by fiber, which is especially helpful for preventing rapid spikes in blood sugar. Another bonus is that berries are rich in vitamin C and other micronutrients like manganese, vitamin K, and various phytonutrients. The soluble fiber in berries slows the digestion of carbohydrates, so sugar is released into your bloodstream more gradually. 1 cup of raspberries or blackberries can provide around 7 to 8 grams of fiber, which is substantial. That's why eating a handful of berries can be a sweet treat that doesn't wreak havoc on your glucose levels. Of course, it's still best to watch your portions. A typical recommended serving might be around 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup. You can enjoy berries on their own, sprinkled over plain Greek yogurt or low-fat cottage cheese, or blended into a smoothie with leafy greens and a source of protein. Just be mindful of not adding extra sweeteners. If you do want a sweeter taste, a natural zero-calorie option like stevia can be an alternative. If you choose frozen berries, make sure the package doesn't include added sugar. The same goes for dried berries, which can be more concentrated in sugar and sometimes come with extra sweeteners. Overall, berries are an excellent, nutrient-dense option that can help keep your sweet cravings in check while providing a good deal of health benefits. Next up are apples, a classic fruit often praised for its many health benefits. The saying, "an apple a day keeps the doctor away," is grounded in some truth. For people with diabetes, apples can be a great choice, largely due to their moderate glycemic index and relatively high fiber content. Most of an apple's fiber is found in the skin, so whenever possible, opt to eat your apples with the peel intact. That peel is also rich in antioxidants such as quercetin, which can have anti-inflammatory and potentially antiviral properties. A typical medium-sized apple has a glycemic index somewhere around 34 to 44, which usually classifies it as low to moderate GI food. It also provides roughly 4 to 5 grams of fiber, especially if you include the peel. This fiber helps slow the digestion of the natural sugars in the fruit. Research also suggests that the polyphenol in apples might support better insulin sensitivity and could have a positive effect on gut bacteria. Since a healthy gut microbiome is increasingly linked to better metabolic function, this is another point in favor of apples. As far as portion sizes go, a single medium apple, roughly the size of a tennis ball, contains about 20 to 25 grams of carbs. Pairing your apple slices with a source of protein or a healthy fat, like nut butter, cheese, or even a handful of almonds, can help you avoid blood sugar spikes by slowing the absorption of sugar. Some people like to add apples to oatmeal, salads, or simply enjoy them sliced as a quick snack. Just be mindful that apple juice or dried apples are different stories, because the fiber is often lost or significantly reduced, making it more likely that your blood sugar will climb faster after consuming them. Moving on, let's look at pears, which are sometimes overshadowed by apples but can be just as beneficial for a diabetes-friendly diet. A medium pear usually contains 5 to 6 grams of fiber, which is even higher than what you typically get in a medium apple. This high fiber content, especially when you eat the skin, helps reduce the rate at which sugars enter your bloodstream. Pears generally have a low to moderate glycemic index, often between 30 and 40. The fiber in pears can also be beneficial for your digestive system, potentially helping with bowel regularity and supporting a favorable gut environment. Pears contain vitamin C, vitamin K, small amounts of copper, and potassium, all of which play roles in various metabolic processes in the body. Vitamin C is an antioxidant that supports immune health, while vitamin K helps with blood clotting and bone metabolism. Copper is involved in enzyme function, and potassium is important for blood pressure control, which is particularly relevant for people with diabetes who may also be managing hypertension. One thing to be aware of is that pears should be eaten at an ideal ripeness level. If a pear is underripe, it might be a bit too hard and not as sweet. If it's overripe, the sugar content can be more quickly absorbed, potentially leading to higher post-meal blood sugar readings. A good rule of thumb is to let the pear ripen on the counter until it gives slightly to gentle pressure near the stem. As for eating ideas, you could slice a pear and have it with some cheese, add slices to a salad with walnuts, or even poach a pear in water with a little cinnamon for a dessert that doesn't overload you with sugar. Again, keep track of how your own body responds. A typical serving size is about 1 medium pear, but if you find that raises your blood sugar more than you'd like, you might try having half a pear and pairing it with a more substantial amount of protein or healthy fat. Another excellent category of fruit for people with diabetes is citrus fruits, particularly oranges and grapefruits. Both have relatively low to moderate glycemic indexes, typically falling between the mid-20s and mid-40s, depending on ripeness and variety. They're famously high in vitamin C, which is an antioxidant that supports immune function, collagen production, and overall cellular health. A medium orange can provide somewhere around 70 milligrams of vitamin C, which is typically more than 70% of the daily recommendation for many adults. Citrus fruits also contain soluble fiber in their pulp and membranes. This type of fiber can help manage cholesterol levels and moderate blood sugar spikes. Oranges are also a good source of potassium, which helps with blood pressure regulation, and they contain various flavonoids that may offer anti-inflammatory and cardiovascular benefits. Because cardiovascular risk is elevated in diabetes, anything that supports heart health is worth considering. Grapefruits, especially the red or pink varieties, contain a compound called naringenin, which some studies suggest could help with insulin sensitivity. However, it's important to mention a key consideration. Grapefruit can interact with certain medications, including some statins used to lower cholesterol and some blood pressure medications. If you're taking prescription drugs, check with your healthcare provider or pharmacist to make sure grapefruit is safe for you. In terms of how to consume citrus fruits, try to opt for whole oranges or grapefruits rather than juice. When you squeeze the juice out, you lose a lot of the fiber, and you end up consuming the sugar in a more concentrated form, which can lead to a quicker blood sugar spike. If you do have juice, consider diluting it with water and keep the portion size small. A standard serving might be 1 medium orange or half a large grapefruit, and pairing it with a small handful of nuts or a piece of cheese can help slow sugar absorption. Now let's talk about cherries, which may not be as commonly included in diabetes-friendly fruit lists, but actually deserve attention, particularly tart cherries. Tart cherries, such as Montmorency cherries, have a glycemic index of around 20, which is considered quite low. Sweet cherries, like Bing cherries, have a higher glycemic index, somewhere around 60, but they can still be manageable in moderate portions because they contain fiber and a lot of water. Cherries, both tart and sweet, are rich in anthocyanins, the same antioxidant pigments that give berries their red, purple, and blue hues. Anthocyanins are known for their anti-inflammatory properties and may also offer some benefits for insulin sensitivity. Tart cherries in particular are sometimes studied for their melatonin content, which can support healthy sleep. since inadequate or poor quality sleep can negatively impact blood sugar control and increase insulin resistance. A food that supports better sleep is often helpful. If you're managing your weight or blood sugar, whole cherries are a better choice than cherry juice because juice concentrates the sugars and removes much of the fiber. A typical 1-cup serving of cherries contains somewhere between 20 and 25 grams of carbohydrates, which includes about 3 grams of fiber. To keep your blood sugar from rising too quickly, pairing cherries with Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a small handful of almonds is a good strategy. Be mindful of dried cherries, which are very concentrated in sugar and sometimes have added sweeteners. If fresh cherries aren't in season, unsweetened frozen cherries can be an alternative. Just thaw them and enjoy, or use them in smoothies. Again, monitor your blood sugar after trying cherries to see how your body responds and adjust portion sizes accordingly. Peaches are another fruit that many people associate with summertime sweetness. The good news is that peaches can fit into a diabetes-friendly eating plan if you watch your portion sizes. A medium peach comes in around a 42 on the glycemic index scale, which is still considered relatively moderate. Thanks to their water content and some fiber, about 2 to 3 grams per peach, depending on size, they won't spike your blood sugar as drastically as some other high-sugar foods might. Peaches are also rich in vitamins such as vitamin A in the form of beta-carotene and vitamin C, plus smaller amounts of various B vitamins. Vitamin A supports vision and immune health, while vitamin C contributes to immune function and acts as an antioxidant in the body. When selecting peaches, the key is ripeness. If a peach is rock hard, it might not taste sweet at all. Conversely, if it's overly ripe and very soft, it could contain more easily absorbable sugars. A typical serving size is about 1 medium peach. You can enjoy it as a snack on its own, or slice it into a salad, or use it to top a bowl of oatmeal or whole grain cereal. Another option is to mix peach slices into a smoothie with other low GI fruits, vegetables, or a source of protein. Avoid canned peaches and heavy syrup because that adds a significant amount of extra sugar. If you must use canned, opt for those labeled in water or no added sugar and double-check the nutrition label. As with other fruits, if you find peaches raise your blood sugar more than you'd like, try eating half a peach at a time and combine it with nuts, seeds, or yogurt to moderate the sugar absorption. Finally, let's discuss a fruit that might surprise some people: avocado. From a botanical standpoint, avocados are indeed a fruit, a single-seeded berry, to be precise. However, they don't resemble typical sweet fruits. Instead, avocados are high in monounsaturated fats, extremely low in sugar, and relatively high in fiber. This combination gives them an almost negligible effect on blood sugar. In fact, their glycemic index is practically at the lowest end of the scale. One medium avocado can contain around 10 grams of fiber, and the majority of its fat is heart-healthy monounsaturated fat, MUFA. Diets rich in monounsaturated fats have been linked to improvements in insulin sensitivity and beneficial effects on cholesterol levels. Since people with diabetes have a heightened risk for cardiovascular disease, adding avocado to your meals can help support heart health. You can spread mashed avocado on whole grain toast, add avocado chunks to a salad, or blend it into a smoothie for a creamy texture. You can also use avocado in place of butter or mayonnaise to cut down on saturated fats. One cautionary note is that avocado is quite calorie-dense. While the calories are primarily from healthy fats, eating a lot of avocado can lead to excessive calorie intake, which might affect your weight management goals. A good portion size might be about a quarter to half of an avocado per meal, depending on your individual calorie needs. Also, if you're prone to gastrointestinal issues, a sudden increase in fiber could cause discomfort, so introduce avocado steadily and see how your body responds. Now that we've covered these 7 top fruits, berries, apples, pears, citrus fruits, cherries, peaches, and avocado, let's talk about some general guidelines for incorporating fruit into a diabetes-friendly diet. First, watching portion sizes is essential. Even the fruits with a low glycemic index can lead to higher blood glucose readings if you eat too much of them at once. Most dietitians suggest that a single serving of fruit contains about 15 grams of carbohydrates, so keep that in mind when determining how much you can comfortably eat at a time. Second, pairing fruit with protein or healthy fat helps slow the absorption of sugars, leading to more stable blood glucose levels. This is why I often suggest enjoying fruit with yogurt, cheese, nuts, or seeds. Third, prioritize whole fruits over juices, because the fiber in whole fruits plays a significant role in moderating the impact on your blood sugar. Even 100% fruit juice can lead to a rapid spike in glucose levels because it lacks the natural fiber you'd get from the entire fruit. Fourth, monitor your personal responses. Different people have different sensitivities, and some individuals might find that a certain fruit spikes their blood sugar more than it would for someone else. Keeping a food journal and measuring your blood sugar before and after eating can be immensely helpful in customizing your fruit choices and portion sizes. Fifth, aim for a balanced overall diet that includes plenty of vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats. Fruits are important for variety, antioxidants, and vitamins, but they're just one part of a comprehensive eating plan. Last but not least, stay hydrated. Sometimes thirst can mimic hunger, and ensuring you're well hydrated can help maintain better metabolic function. I hope this deep dive into the top 7 best fruits for diabetics has helped clarify that fruit isn't automatically forbidden for those managing diabetes. In fact, fruit can be a valuable ally if you choose wisely and balance it with the rest of your diet. Berries bring antioxidants and fiber. Apples provide a moderate glycemic index along with beneficial phytonutrients. Pears deliver extra fiber. Citrus fruits supply vitamin C and heart-healthy flavonoids. Cherries offer anthocyanins and potentially sleep-friendly melatonin. Peaches give you a sweet, low to moderate GI treat with vitamins A and C. And avocado stands out with its fiber and heart-healthy fats. The key is to be mindful of portion sizes. Pair fruits with proteins or healthy fats, and favor whole fruits over juices or heavily sweetened forms. By doing so, you can absolutely enjoy the natural sweetness of fruit while keeping your blood sugar in a healthier range. I'd like to remind you once more that this information is meant to educate and is not a substitute for medical advice tailored to your individual situation. Always consult with your healthcare provider, especially if you're uncertain about any specific diet changes or have unique health conditions beyond diabetes. If you found this helpful, I encourage you to keep exploring ways to enjoy nutritious, delicious foods. Living with diabetes doesn't mean depriving yourself of the flavors and benefits that fruit can offer. It's all about being strategic, understanding glycemic impact, practicing moderation, and pairing fruit with the right complementary foods. By doing this, you can maintain a varied, enjoyable diet that supports both your metabolic health and overall well-being. As a quick review, these are the broad takeaways: berries, apples, pears, citrus fruits, cherries, peaches, and avocado all have specific properties that make them stand out in a diabetes-friendly eating plan. Berries have a low glycemic index and high antioxidant levels. Apples deliver soluble fiber and beneficial plant compounds in their peel. Pears can provide even more fiber than apples if you eat the skin. Citrus fruits give you vitamin C and soluble fiber in the pulp. Cherries bring anthocyanins, which have anti-inflammatory effects, and tart varieties may aid in sleep regulation. Peaches are a sweet treat with a moderate glycemic index and a good dose of vitamins. Avocados, though not sweet, technically qualify as a fruit and come packed with healthy fats and a generous helping of fiber. In all cases, the best strategy is to eat controlled portions alongside proteins or healthy fats. Stay mindful of overall carbohydrate intake for the day, and check your own blood sugar response whenever you try new foods or portions. If you're still uncertain about how much fruit you can handle in a single meal or in a given day, it can be incredibly useful to measure your blood glucose before eating fruit and then measure it again at 1 hour and 2 hours afterward. This will help you see the direct effect on your body and allow you to adjust accordingly. Some people might manage half a cup of fruit easily, while others may tolerate a full cup without significant spikes. Everyone's metabolism is unique, which is why personal monitoring can give you the most accurate guidance on what works for you. In addition, consider your overall diet and health goals. If you're working on weight loss or have certain cardiovascular risk factors, you might want to focus on fruits that bring additional fiber or specific nutrients that support your particular health concerns. For instance, if heart health is a priority, avocados, berries, and citrus fruits are especially beneficial. If you're aiming to increase your antioxidant intake, cherries and berries might be your best friends. And if you want a convenient on-the-go snack, apples and pears could be perfect because they're easy to carry and typically don't require refrigeration for short periods. Sometimes people ask whether it's ever acceptable to eat fruit in larger quantities. That depends heavily on individual glucose control and how balanced the rest of your meal is. Let's say you want to have a cup of mixed berries with breakfast. You might want to include eggs, a slice of whole grain toast, or a portion of Greek yogurt in that same meal. The protein and fiber from these additional foods can prevent a big glucose spike. If your blood sugar remains stable after such a meal, you might be able to continue that practice. However, if you notice consistently higher post-meal readings, you'd need to dial it back or rearrange your portions. Another strategy involves timing. Some people find they manage fruit better earlier in the day when they're more metabolically active, or after a workout when muscles are more likely to take up glucose. This can be especially true if you engage in any form of exercise that helps your muscles use glucose more efficiently. Working with a registered dietitian can also be beneficial if you want a structured approach to meal timing and portion control. Given all this, I want to reinforce that living with diabetes doesn't have to mean giving up the joy of sweet, flavorful fruits. By leaning on the science, monitoring glycemic indexes, checking your own responses, and pairing fruit properly, you can still reap the nutritional benefits of fruit. The vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber in these foods can actually bolster your overall health in a significant way, from boosting immune function and aiding digestion to supporting cardiovascular health and, in some cases, improving insulin sensitivity. While not every fruit will work perfectly for everyone, the 7 discussed here – berries, apples, pears, citrus fruits, cherries, peaches, and avocado – have some of the best profiles for stable blood sugar control, provided they are consumed in the right context and in moderation. As we wrap up, I want to thank you for taking the time to learn about these options. Whether you're newly diagnosed or have been managing diabetes for years, it's entirely possible to enjoy a wide variety of foods, including sweet-tasting fruits, by focusing on portion sizes, nutrient density, and balance. This not only helps keep your blood sugar in check, but also prevents monotony in your meal plan. Feeling satisfied and enjoying the foods you eat are big parts of maintaining a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. Always remember to consult your healthcare provider for personalized medical advice and to confirm any specific dietary changes. If you decide to experiment with these fruits, I encourage you to track how you feel, check your blood sugar at intervals, and make small adjustments until you find the sweet spot. No pun intended, that fits your needs. It might take a bit of trial and error, but once you figure out which fruits your body tolerates best and how to incorporate them into balanced meals, you'll realize you're not missing out on nature's wonderful variety of flavors. I hope this has cleared up any confusion about whether fruit can be part of a diabetes-friendly diet. The short answer is a definite yes, as long as you choose wisely, manage your portions, and consider pairing strategies that slow the absorption of sugar. It's about being mindful, not fearful. Enjoy your berries with some protein, your apples with nut butter, your pears with a little cheese, your citrus fruits with balanced meals, your cherries after checking how your body responds, your peaches in moderate portions, and your avocados as a source of healthy fats and fiber. This balanced approach not only helps you maintain healthier blood sugar levels, but also enriches your diet with essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that benefit your body in countless ways. Thank you for spending your time with me. I appreciate your commitment to learning more about managing diabetes through a nutritious and varied diet. Keep exploring, keep monitoring, and keep striving for that balance that allows you to live well. If you found this information valuable, I encourage you to apply it in your daily life and share it with anyone else who might be navigating the challenges of diabetes. Wishing you the best on your health journey, and I look forward to sharing more insights and evidence-based guidance with you in the future. Take good care, be well, and here's to enjoying the natural sweetness of life, even with diabetes.